Here is a general guide for the pieces you will be cutting out. Start by tracing the handles on two pieces of metal, then cut them out and clamp them together with vice grip pliers with pieces of popsicle stick in between so you don't scratch the metal. Use a bench grinder to give the handles their general shape and to round the edges. Next, drill 3 holes in the handle at the locations shown on the diagram. Drill through both handles at the same time so everything is lined up. An easier way to drill a hole through hardened steel is to first drill a hole through a piece of wood, then clamp that piece of wood to the piece of metal and drill through the wood and the metal at the same time. Drill a hole through your lock before cutting it out. Then, using that hole, line up your handle with the lock and trace where the lock should be. Then cut out the lock. Next, I filed a notch at the end of the lock to keep the spring from sliding. Next, trace the shape of your blade onto a circular saw blade and start cutting it out. Leave extra metal at the rounded end of the blade so you can cut it into a more exact shape later. Then drill a hole in the blade as shown on the diagram. Then grind the blade smooth and give it a general edge. Next, use pins to line up the blade and lock on the handle to make sure everything lines up correctly. It won't. You'll probably have to grind both the lock and the rounded end of the blade to make everything line up correctly. Next, cut all your pins so that they are slightly longer than both handles and the blade stacked on top of each other. I used bed springs for this, but you're going to have to find some type of springy metal to bend into this shape. The spring is built right when it's able to push the lock outside the end of the handle. Next, assemble your knife to make sure everything fits together. Put 3 sheets of paper between each piece of the knife so that it's still loose when you're done. Next, just hammer the rivets down. Sand the handle of your knife and sharpen the blade and you're done.